Namaste, friends. I have the chart of a teenager here, and I've also described the problems here. As you can see, the native gets very emotional. The native is also very aggressive and has frequent fights with his father. And thirdly, the basic education is completely disturbed. Now, having highlighted the problems, let's try and understand how we see it in the chart. Now, the first and foremost thing that I would like to focus on is the current dasha itself. If you look at the current running dasha, it is Rahu. Rahu is known to create sudden disturbances. Okay, so let's just keep it at that, but let's try and analyze it from multiple angles. Now, the first and foremost thing, as we said here, is the native gets very emotional. Now, whenever we use the word emotion, somehow moon gets connected to it. So, if we look at the chart here under planet to house aspects, we can see that moon has a negative impact on the fourth house. Now, fourth house uh, deals with multiple significations, but fourth house is the place of stay, meaning our home, mother, you know, and also basic education. If you look at KP, fourth house deals with basic education and ninth house deals with higher education. So here you can see that the fourth house has a negative impact from moon. So definitely we can see that there is no peace of mind at home, and there is emotional disturbance also as part of it. Now, apart from this, moon also has aspects from Saturn as well as Mars. You can see here Mars has uh, the eighth aspect on moon, and Saturn also has the 10th aspect on moon. So these two planets are also responsible uh, directly or indirectly to change the emotional quotient for the native. So this way we can understand that there is emotional disturbance that the native is going through. Now let's focus on the second point, which is the native gets very aggressive and also has frequent fights with his father. Now, if we go back to the planets tab, you can see that the ninth house is actually disturbed by four different planets. Now, ninth house is the house of father. Okay, ninth house also deals with higher education, clarity of thought, basically luck and prosperity. All these things are part of the ninth house. So the native is not in a position to think clearly. It's like, I will act first and then let's see what the consequences are. So that way you can see that there are four different planets which are impacting the ninth house, and Mars is one of them. Mars represents aggression. So this shows that there are very aggressive fights and behavior with the father. And the third part, which I mentioned, which is basically disturbance in basic education. Now, first of all, we saw that moon has a negative impact on the fourth house, which is the house of basic education. But apart from that, you will also see that the fourth cuspal sublord is Rahu. So, this clearly indicates that basic education is disturbed. Any house which is controlled by Rahu will definitely have some kind of a disturbance. So, fourth house being controlled by Rahu definitely indicates that basic education and even anything connected to home or native place is disturbed for this native. Now, there were a couple of remedies that were suggested. The chart is a little complex, but I'll just tell you the remedies that I had suggested to the client. Now, one of the remedies was, since fourth house is controlled by Rahu, and there is also Mars, which is impacting the ninth house. Mars indicates aggression, so the excess energy from Mars has to be utilized somewhere. So one of my suggestions to the native was, get into boxing, something action oriented sports, so the energy is used up somewhere, so the aggression automatically comes down. And the other part is, since Rahu is involved, the native can also get into gym and do weightlifting. So this is the second part. And the best remedy for the native in order to utilize Rahu would be to move away from the native place, not to stay in the native place. First of all, fourth house is controlled by Rahu, which means home as well as native place is not good for the native. So the best way to remedy is to ensure that the native moves away from home to a distant land, either foreign land, or even if it is not a foreign land, if the native is in a particular state in India, he or she can also move to a different state where there is a cultural change. So these were couple of remedies that I had suggested. I hope you understood how to look at the issues and what kind of remedies can be suggested. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.